Nisha Goyal. How are you?
I'm so great. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, full disclosure, this is not the first time Nisha and I have chatted. However, you might remember a few years back at the recording of this is spring of 2025, but a few years back we had this thing called a global pandemic where everyone was meeting online. So we actually met in the virtual world. This is the
Yes.
first time we're sitting across from one
I
another.
know. It's so exciting.
How does it feel?
Great.
By the way, she gives really good hugs too, if you don't mind me saying that. They're amazing hugs. But Nisha, it's so great to finally see you face
Yeah,
to face.
it's awesome. Nothing like in person, right?
No, it's
Yeah.
just, and I think it's something that we missed.
We need it.
We definitely
Yeah.
need that face-to-face, in-person conversation. I think that where possible, obviously we can't fly around the globe all the time to meet with people face-to-face, but certainly when we can, it allows us to just really strengthen those relationships in business that I think are so important with, being in the person's energy.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And if anybody brings really good energy, it's you to the conversation.
Awesome.
So let me ask this question as we get started, because there probably have been many, but let's think of one if we can. What's a pivotal moment in your life or career that really shaped the person you are today?
The one thing that comes to mind is our most teachable moments happen when we go through struggle. And I made a really difficult decision. I quit my whole life in 19 days, 15 years ago, and I moved myself to another city. I was in burnout. I was feeling stuck. I was not happy in any area of my life. And it was a really long 6-year journey after that of just burnout and loneliness and struggle and pain and all the things. And I emerged from it stronger than ever, but the one thing it taught me was that if we want to really grow in our life, we have to change what's on the inside, not what's on the outside.
Yeah, that inner work becomes, and I think it's one of the things as entrepreneurs or seasoned business owners that sometimes we forget. Yes, our business is important, our careers are the things that we do. Externally, very important, but it's the inner work that really drives things forward to where we really want to be.
Absolutely. You got to work on what's on the inside. You got to get your love and your validation from inside. And once you heal from inside, as you continue to do that, because it's a lifelong process, I can tell you that what happens to you and your life on the outside will absolutely change for the better.
What's something that people often misunderstand about the work that you do?
So the work that I do is I am all about self-love, and I help high-achieving women that are feeling burnt out and disconnected cultivate unapologetic self-love so they can have the amazing lives that they want. And so what gets people don't understand is I'm always talking about self. Loving ourselves, dating ourselves, falling in love with ourselves. And people find that strange because when we think about dating and love, we think about that in relation to other people, right? But the most important relationship that you have is with yourself. So if you don't love yourself, it sounds cliche, but if you don't give yourself the stuff that you give to other people, to your partners, your children, your families, if you don't give that to yourself internally first, you can't give what you don't have. So there's always a misunderstanding that, oh, why would I even want to date myself? And what does that even look like?
It's one of those things that, from what I'm understanding, that we've maybe heard it before, but we just don't know how to go about doing that. Or we know it's something we should do. We're often told, love yourself, and who else is going to love you if you don't?
Yeah.
And that sounds great in theory. In practice, it's a different thing altogether. So without giving away all of your best stuff, what are some of the things that you would want? What's one or two key things you would walk somebody through? For example, you talk about self-dating. What are some of the things that you would walk through with someone?
There's two main things. The first is the internal connection that you have with yourself. So when you go on a date and you have a conversation with somebody. It's the same thing with yourself. Pick up a journal. Have a conversation with yourself on a regular, consistent basis. How am I feeling right now? Did something upset me? Am I happy right now? Did I have a great day? And get to know that internal dialogue that you have with yourself. And then the second thing is, when you're on a date, what do? You have an experience, right? Being able to sit with yourself and do things that you want to do. Take yourself out for dinner. Shoo your family out for the night. Have a cup of tea. Have a glass of wine. Take yourself to the movies. And it's that being able to connect with yourself and your feelings and your emotions, and to sit with yourself without having the need to have somebody else there. When you can do that, the world is your oyster, because what you can give to the rest of your family, your partners, your kids is so much greater.
Yeah, I'm an extrovert by nature.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop you right there and say, this sounds like an impossible thing to do, because as an extrovert, we thrive on the energy of others. So going on a date with myself, I almost feel like I need to phone a friend, find a friend, make a friend, whatever.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody like me who's in that extremely extroverted space? What is one quick key tip that you could give me to go on a date with myself, regardless of what my familial situation is?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
I love that you get your energy from other people, but can you take 15 minutes in your day to pause in between your meetings and conversations and say, hey, Carl, how you doing? How am I feeling? Before you move from one to the next, to figure out what recharges your battery. I know it's other people, but take 15 minutes and sit with yourself and go, how am I doing right now? Am I ready for the next meeting? How do I feel? Right? It's just that connection and that conversation and that space, giving yourself the space to have that dialogue and pause. Because even when you're connecting with other people, it's still hard to connect with yourself, because your interaction it's about that other person. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is, you need that, but you really need to focus. 15 minutes is what I would tell you. 15 minutes in a day to just be with Carl, go for a walk, sit there with a coffee, and just sit with your own thoughts and learn about what your inner dialogue is telling you.
I love it. That's great advice, and I'm going to start doing that. I might have to set it in my agenda, because
that's fine. I call it sacred solo time, whatever you want to call it. If you're the kind of guy that likes to book appointments, mm-hmm. I always say, do you have an appointment with yourself? Maybe it's a half an hour, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes. Book that time in between your meetings and just have it for you, whatever it is that you want to do. But I like to make sure that you have some kind of a check-in. Am I okay? Am I hungry? Do I need some rest? How do I feel about that?
I'm a chronic napper.
I love it.
So I usually will, after lunch, when I'm hitting the nap zone anyways, I will take a few minutes to be with self, but I like the reflection piece though. So for myself and all the other extroverts out there who say, how do you do that? I think that's great advice, so thank you. What's something you're currently excited to be working on right now?
So I'm really excited. I've talked about journaling.
Yeah.
It's not just for the ladies, it's for everyone. So I'm launching June 1st a self-love journaling challenge. It's designed to help you reconnect with yourself, reconnect, reclaim, rise. And it's really for people that are feeling that disconnection and that burnout. And we've all heard about how we should do it, right? How we should journal. And whether you use an app or you pick up a book, it's a 100-day experience. Well, people will get access to me as well. And you can develop a consistent, sacred solo time practice where you're having that conversation that I've talked about, even if it's 5 minutes. So I'm really, really excited. There's curated prompts, 100 of them every day, to help you start that connection with yourself, right? It's not just about how was my day, but it's getting you to really deeply connect with who you are. So I'm stoked about that.
I'm excited too. Journaling is so powerful.
It is.
I've been an on-again, off-again journaler. So but I've been fairly consistent since December of 2024
Yeah.
in journaling. And oh my goodness, the difference is unbelievable. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I could spend the next 86 hours talking to you, but we'd run out of tape, as it were. So, and we have so many more things that we're working on,
Yes.
professionally together.
Yeah.
We're not going to spill the tea on that yet, but I will say, just as we're getting set to sign off on this opportunity of chatting with you, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Awesome. Well, so my website is nishagoyal.ca. I am on Instagram at the Self-Love Maven, because that's who I am. I encourage you to follow me there and to connect with me. I would love to meet you and have a chat with you.
All right, fantastic. Nisha Goyal, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.